Well, the Buckeyes' road to the Final Four has ended in Pittsburgh. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiberi. Welcome to our NCAA basketball tournament roundtable, joined by Dave Holmes and Adam King of 10 TV, along with former Ohio State basketball player Joey Lane, along with Timmy Hall of 97.1 The Fan. Dave, the Buckeyes bounced from the tournament, second round, losing to Villanova in Pittsburgh. They made it close late, but couldn't close the deal. As you look at it, what was the difference in this game?
The difference was the moment Kyle Young laid on the court for me, because they made the great comeback. You can break it down in two different ways. One, you dug too big of a hole to get out of. But once you cut it to two, that's really no longer a story because you got out of it. So it's when Kyle Young goes down, they had all the momentum. We saw in round one what a key player he was. And to me, that's almost the story of the season, is the splits with Kyle, without Kyle. They were a different team. He was a glue guy. They had good scorers in Malachi and EJ, but he was the guy that held it all together, and I think that was the key to the game. Don't want to make injuries an excuse here because Villanova is a better team. I mean, the Villanova is going to win this game 8 out of 10 times. The beauty of March is you can win it, even that one time when you get the shot, but I think that was the key.
Well, and it's not an excuse when it's a fact. Joey, how would you describe this season? Would it be fair to say a season of what could have been and what we thought was going to be?
Yeah, I mean, just total what-ifs everywhere, left and right. You look at Justice Suing, right? I mean, the coaching staff built the offensive game plan around him being one of the primary ball handlers for the team. You lose him for the whole season, not even talking about Seth Towns, not even talking about Zed Key for stretches, Kyle Young for stretches. The team was at full strength, was as good as just about any team in the country, and we just never got to see it. It's unfortunate. It's still a super, super successful season nonetheless. Any year you get to the NCAA tournament, any year you win in the NCAA tournament, it's hard to do that. And with a depleted roster at times, it was pretty impressive that we got that done.
All right, Adam, I know you've been digging, and I know you also said, hey, just because he showed up at senior day doesn't mean E.J. Liddell has to leave. What do you think the chances are? And he was not committal. He was not. He wasn't ready to say. He says, "I still got to think about it." What are the chances E.J. Liddell comes back? What are the chances Malachi Branham come back?
The chances E.J. Liddell comes back. I mean, you can never say 100% he's not, but he is 100% not coming back. He will not be in a Buckeye jersey next year.
Then why not say it yesterday?
Why not say it?
I mean, he participated in senior day.
I think it's a respect thing. I think it's his way of paying homage to this season before he moves himself along. Obviously, yesterday was about Ohio State, and when you go to the pro, it's more about you. And I think he wanted yesterday to continue to be about the team. Now, while we're talking, there could be a tweet out there. It's coming. There's a long tweet, a paragraph written with a picture of EJ in the corner shooting a three, and it says, "Thanks so much, Buckeye Nation."
We have graphics now for everything.
We have graphics for everything.
Graphics.
The other one that Buckeye Nation really needs to think about is Malachi Branham. And wow, how did we get here? I mean, what a freshman year he's had to even put himself in this situation. I think Malachi Branham returning is the difference between this team being a preseason top 10 team and this team being a top 30 team. With the recruits coming in, if you add Branham, you add Suing, I know there's a lot of frustration within Buckeye Nation right now with Holtman and all of that in the one and dones and winning one game and not getting the second weekend. The team next year with Malachi Branham on the roster is more than capable of getting to the second weekend and making news.
All right, Timmy, you are a person of the people. You have your finger on the pulse of the community.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Coach Holtman is taking some heat on social media.
Why am I
I don't
the
know if you
Holtman guy?
noticed that.
Why am I the Holtman guy every time?
Well, because you give good answers. Anyways, Tim, fans don't want to hear excuses. But facts are facts, my friend, and I'm going to give you facts. This team thought they were going to have Justice Suing. Didn't have him, injured. They thought they were going to have Seth Towns. Didn't have him. You take out Kyle Young. You take out Zed Key, and this is not the same team. And I agree 100% with Dave Holmes that when Kyle Young went down yesterday, that was the dagger. They're not excuses if they're facts, right?
No, they are facts. I agree with what you're saying, and I would love to see this program, I would love to see this team have a year without the bad luck. And I know, I hear you, Buckeye fans that have a lot of passion and intensity for this team. I hear what you're saying when you're going to say every team in the country has injuries. But as Joey Lane was breaking it down, these are pretty important players. They were building a lot of the offense around Justice Suing. It's been such a long time since he's played that a lot of us Buckeye fans forget who that guy actually was and what he could do. He is a stout rock of a player that can rebound, that can attack the basket, that can hit free throws, that can hit a three. He plays really solid defense. He was paramount to what you're going to be able to do. The other side of this coin is, you're looking at a 10-year drought now of going to a Sweet 16. Holtman's only responsible for 5 of those. There's also a big difference between, being one and done in the NCAA tournament and winning a game most every year, which they've done 3 out of 4 times. They've come up short. Look, they have. It is what it is. A lot of people are going to point to things within the season of how they fall apart late in games or they make a lot of mistakes. And I think we do get one-dimensional in that we pay so much attention to our own team that we don't realize that these are issues that a lot of college basketball teams face. I think pressure is mounting. I think the pressure is there, and that's okay as we go into year 6 to get a championship, to when you have that 3-quarter mark where you think you could win a regular season championship or contend for a Big Ten tournament title, it's time to get to doing that. I can't join the fire crowd when we got a coach that's made 8 NCAA tournaments in a row. I count the pandemic season because they were a 100% lock. I can't get there. It's fair to criticize. It's fair to ask for a little bit more. But I'm in the camp of keep going. Just let's go another couple years, transition with a big freshman class. Let's see what they can do and what the portal brings us.
Dave, you think about Villanova, the team that beat Ohio State, and Jay Wright, who now everybody thinks is one of the best coaches in the country, and he is, 2 national titles. He struggled in the beginning, and it took him a while to get there. And Chris Holtman says, hey, I think we're on the right track. With that said, 9 teams from the Big Ten got in the tournament. 7 of them knocked out. Only 2 are left, Michigan and Purdue. It's not easy to win in this tournament. Just ask Kentucky and Coach Calipari. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer, right? Mm-hmm. What does that say to you? I mean, I understand expectations, but is Tom Izzo a bad coach? I mean, is Coach Calipari a bad coach?
So I know. First off, you're leading the witness.
I'm just asking a question.
I know the point you're trying to make.
These guys have won championships. Come on, we're trying to get to something for the first time. Coach K has also been knocked out in the first round. So yes, Hall of Fame coaches win national championships can lose in the first round. Chris Holtman's not there yet. He has to do a little bit more than that. As far as the Big Ten, I think this shows what I said last week. You asked me, is the Big Ten the best conference? And I said on Columbus Air, not always popular, that it's not. I said the Big 12, Kansas, Texas Tech still alive, and I don't blame Baylor for being a little banged up running into a hot Carolina Iowa State
team.
got there too, Dave.
Iowa State, thank you. So I stand by. In other words, I'm just basically bragging that I got that one right.
Okay.
Well, the man to my right, Adam King, I believe, said.
I was going to call myself
out.
Hold
on. Last week, Dom said, who's the most likely Big Ten team to make a run? He said, quote, Iowa, and it's not even close. I gave him a look of like, what are you talking about?
Are we sure that the Hawkeyes are done? I mean, maybe.
Well, it was quick. If you blinked, you missed it. They were gone. So, no, I think your point is accurate, though, Dom, in that when you play in a one and done, it's not a best of 7. Yeah, it's a lot easier for Phil Jackson and for Greg Popovich to always come out on top because they have better teams, better coaching over 7 games. It's not the nature of this. Guys like Dean Smith get bounced in round 1. So that point is fair. But Chris Holtman needs to get to that second weekend. I do think if Malachi comes back, he's got a do-or-die chance to do that next year because I think you have to next year.
Well, with that said, Joey, let me follow up. The Buckeyes, they do have a top class coming in next year. If you were Chris Holtman, what would you say to EJ? What would you say to Malachi? Especially, there is NIL money out there now. Can that help sway guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. I would tell EJ, congratulations on a great career. I wish you all the best in the NBA.
I mean, you think that's what he's going to do?
Oh, yes, I do think
you think Chris will do that?
Yeah. Coach Holt has been at the forefront of EJ, this is his last year. EJ, thank you for all you've done. Telling everybody and their mom, like, EJ's gone. With Malachi, it's a little bit different. I mean, there's a lot of positives to returning. It's hard to sit there as a head coach and say, Malachi, you're a first-round pick. Come back to school. It's hard to say that. Malachi, after all the measurables come in, after he goes to the combine, he's going to be a lottery pick. And it's up to Malachi at that point Do you value your Buckeye legacy? Do you value an Elite Eight run, a Final Four run, being a Big Ten Player of the Year, being a National Player of the Year candidate? Do you value that? Or do you just want to start your NBA career? And in both scenarios, how can you fault the kid? So, I mean, Malachi is as good as they come in terms of being a player and a person. I trust in whatever decision he makes along with his family and the coaching staff, because the beauty of Coach Holman and this staff is it's the same thing with Coach John Calipari. It's the same thing with Coach K. They're going to do whatever is in the best interest of the player. So we'll see what happens. We all are rooting for Malachi to come back. It would be pretty bittersweet if he leaves. But, man, all the Fire Holman people would be mad that he got a guy and developed him into a one-and-done, too.
All right, Adam, I know you're over there. You've been waiting for your chance. You were a bit besmirched by someone. I mean, I'm just saying it was an unprovoked attack.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I want to say is, and I'm not going to play what you said last week. I'm going to ask you again. Was the Big Ten as good as we thought? 9 teams getting in, only 2 have survived, sir. Please explain yourself.
I would just like to say that normally in a debate, I get 15 seconds to rebuttal, but somehow you went right to Joey, and I never got to defend myself.
This is your chance.
Here it is.
Someone tells me it's not going to be 15 seconds.
We have always said that Dave Holmes is a Big 12 homer. We've always known.
It's my reputation around town.
No, I mean, the Big Ten has some explaining to do at this point. And I think this tournament may be the one where we say, okay, you had numerous top 25 teams all season. You beat yourself up. You wear yourself out. Oh, that Big Ten tournament's tough on Iowa. But at this point, when you look at Wisconsin, when you look at Illinois, when you look at Iowa, when you look at Ohio State, I mean, these are teams that we sat in the middle of February saying they could be competing for a 1 or a 2 seed right now. And now we sit in the Sweet 16. We haven't had a Big Ten national champion since 2000. I mean, that's 22 years we're going on. That's too long to say that you are the best conference. And I think the Big 12 has earned it. I am jumping on the bandwagon with Dave Holmes. We have T-shirts. The Big Ten's just got to prove it in the tournament at this point. And maybe they will. Maybe it's Purdue makes a run. Maybe Iowa comes back left for dead. And
foresight, hindsight. Foresight.
There's no doubt in my mind that the Big Ten is the deepest conference in the country. They're the deepest conference in the country. Top to bottom, they have guys that can beat any team. But obviously, they have no national champion, and then this year they don't have the best chance of any conference to win it. So rightfully so, they can pass the torch, I guess, but I'll take the Big Ten over anybody.
All right, I want to go back to Timmy Hall because first of all, the Buckeye Show, give the folks the info on that. When can they hear you? Because you are a man of the people. Every day, the Buckeye Show. From when to when?
Oh, every day we're on at 6. Sometimes during Blue Jackets season we might be off a little bit early, but every single weeknight at 6 o'clock we are there.
And if you're a Buckeye fan, no matter what, you're there with the people.
Yeah, I mean we're not really talking about the Blue Jackets for 2 hours on that show. It's going to be centralized on the Buckeyes. Hey, women's hocky team. Way to
that
go.
was pretty cool.
National
OSU
champs.
women's basketball team plays tonight. We're hoping, you know.
And there it is.
Well, Timmy, 2 teams left, Michigan and Purdue. Who has the best chance to survive and make it to the Final Four? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have picked Purdue to be there. I've got them going to the Final Four.
Well, I will tell you, my father's not going to agree with me because he's a not very proud Purdue alum when it comes to watching basketball over the years. He gives up, say, when Purdue's down 6-2 in a game, and he texts me and says, "I'm going to bed now. We stink. We can't get it done." I said, "Dad, hold on. Ride this out. You know, you're winning the game at halftime." Speaking of the Texas game, and they win. Purdue's going to be my answer there. Michigan's a double-digit seed. Purdue was the cream of the crop all season long. I don't have them going to the Final Four because of their defensive woes. And even Travion Williams, who puts on his dancing shoes as well as anybody, he is fantastic with the footwork. We've been watching him for a while, but he gets caught off guard. He leaves his feet a lot on defense, gives some stuff up, and Ivy's not the best defender, even though he's very Ja Morant-ish. How about that cockback dunk that he had in the game? He's sensational to watch. So Purdue's the answer. Don't think it's going to happen, though. They have a better shot than Michigan. I like UCLA in that region now. They're going to play North Carolina, UCLA.
All right, guys, final thoughts. We'll stay with you, Timmy. Who's your favorite to win the title now?
Well, my bracket originally, which is a terrible bracket, just stay away from that bracket. Arizona was the champ, and what a game they gave us. TCU, the spirit, but Arizona with Matherin showing his strength and how good of a player he is. The Pac-12 gets no love, even though they're a very good conference. Arizona winning it all.
Well, Arizona, Joey?
I don't know who's going to win the championship. I just really want Duke and North Carolina to play in the Final Four. That's just all I want with all my heart. But I'll give you a pick, I guess. I'll take the Zags because that's totally going against what I just said.
Davey, who wins?
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to talk me into Iowa last week, but
Are you not there on Iowa? You don't think so?
I think their odds
Not
are,
even close.
I think their odds are plummeting. No, the chalk pick is Gonzaga. I mean, I like Arizona if I try to take someone who's not the chalk pick, but all the metrics are the Zags if they can just get over zagging themselves in the Final Four, one time.
There's kind of, obviously, my bracket says Arizona. There are two teams, one that I don't know why no one's talking about, which is kind of surprising, and I haven't even thought of them. It's Kansas. I mean, Kansas has a great path. Dom says no. Kansas, no. He's a Big 12 doubter. He's
Every year they go down.
And the one that I think really could raise the trophy at this and be the sleeper is UCLA. I think UCLA could shock a lot of people coming out of that region.
Yeah, lost a key player late in the game, ankle, so he needs to be okay.
Yeah.
I have two brackets left. I have Purdue making it to the Final Four, but my two teams, one has Gonzaga winning it all, the other has Arizona winning it all. So I'm covered.
Be nice to have two brackets.
Hey,
I mean, did you risk it all with that?
I mean, I took Kentucky.
I'm just saying,
The auto-fill bracket feature was great.
Yeah.
You also have E.J. Liddell coming back. He went through
Adam's
senior
been
day.
digging. Adam's been digging.
I knew E.J. Liddell
Dave's been digging. He found out he's not coming back.
He went through senior day. Senior day to you is when you get 15% off at the buffet. Senior day to E.J. Liddell.
But it
means
was
he's
like the
gone.
movie Dumb and Dumber when he said,
Is he saying there's a chance? Okay.
Tom, EJ plays for the Knicks. He's gone. He's not.
He still has a 1 year of
Just
eligibility.
got drafted.
All right, guys, good stuff. Keep it on 10 TV, 97.1 The Fan for all your Buckeye and NCAA tournament coverage.